everybody, it is Calxiyn and Hunter here. If you guys enjoy this video, remember that you guys should become patrons over on Patreon. If you guys want to support the channel, see our reaction early, all that fun stuff. Buy me more wigs, please.
Not paid for my wigs, buy me wigs.
Yeah.
Purposefully, and me wigs too. I feel like the wig balance in our relationship is it's not equal.
No, it's not.
Hey,
you know what's not equal anymore?
What?
The moon.
Right.
Because it's... I mean, it was always like that, but we find out why in this RWBY episode. So I want to talk about the moon a little bit, because...
I didn't think people would be so disappointed about the moon, but
we're not going to talk about the disappointed part. I want to talk more about, like, metaphor and stuff, which is fun, I guess. Basically, in the RWBY manga, apparently, I vaguely...
The ones that you barely even touched.
I vaguely remember this, but Weiss basically says that people think that the moon is representative of the folly of man, which is, like... pretty indicative, like it's
of what happened.
Was
right? The folly of man,
exactly, it was
thinking they could kill God.
Well, yeah, basically, like of following like this is their punishment, and then they leave and they break the moon. So it is very much because of the folly of man that the moon is broken.
Like just he zooms up and he just bumps on the moon, and it's like. You fucked up, dude. You bumped the moon. And didn't some of the moon, like, smash into the ground afterwards?
Yeah, the moon, it was, like, falling from the sky.
That was a beautiful shot where we were with her
Salem's
and, like, the
just
yellow
alone,
flowers and the
like,
mountains and the falling rock.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it was gorgeous.
Well, that's kind of, like, the interesting part of this is, like, yeah, obviously it's a metaphor for, like, the humans of the past, right?
Yeah.
Humans, a remnants of a forgotten past. Like, obviously,
we could go and
like,
fuck up with God.
And yeah, and so like, I don't blame though the people necessarily for following Salem, because you see this woman and she's immortal. Like, what else are you gonna? What else are you gonna think?
If someone popped up and was immortal, I'd be like, well, I guess then. Yeah,
and so I get why they're like, oh, you know, like, this is everybody's fault, so they just wipe out humanity. Actually, no, I don't get that. That's like a very bad... That's a very dick move. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
I don't trust you fuckers.
I get why they would blame humanity for falling into, I guess you could say, Salem's, like, trap, because Salem is really doing that sort of, she's rounding people up out of, like, I guess a selfish and a non-selfish reason. Like, she's seen how bad the gods are, so she's sort of leading up forces to come in and destroy them, but it's also a selfish reason, because she wants to get some payback out of it as well. And so I think that for this, right, like, I don't think humanity is to blame. And maybe they shouldn't have been wiped out and all that stuff, right? And so the moon breaking, if it is supposed to represent the folly of man, like, it's really one woman, if you want to, like, you know, put it that way. Because I get it, like, oh, you guys shouldn't have followed her, you guys should have believed in us, we're the gods, we've, like, served you, you know, you come to our temples, you tell us your problems, we try to help you, and now you're following this bitch. Like, I get that. At the same time, no. And so the moon basically breaks as they fuck off and leave. And so I wonder if at the end of the show, when the gods are resummoned, that the moon will be pieced back together to represent that, like, the gods are back and all that stuff. If that is how it goes. Well, if that makes sense. You know what I mean, Hunter? Like, I wonder if, like, the moon being broken right now, like, it's obviously, that's what it's a metaphor for. But I wonder if that's sort of the path that will go down, like, eventually when, say, somebody gets all the relics, or the show's over, or, like, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, all the relics are brought together, the gods comes back, and the first thing that the god of light does is put the moon back to its original, like, form, and its original shape.
That'll be the last shot of RWBY.
That'll be the last shot of RWBY, is the moon moving back together, and that's it. Because that's what, isn't that how RWBY starts? Doesn't it start with a shot of the moon and then it goes down to Roman?
That would be a really,
and so that would be a nice little circular ending, wouldn't it? And I think that's really cute. I guess we can talk about how people are disappointed about the moon. People thought Salem and Osmond fought on the moon. People thought it had something to do with the Silver Eyes. I guess it still could. Like, the pieces of the moon fell down. And in the spots where like infected humans. Maybe it, you know what I mean? Like, it mutated people. Does that make sense? They have moon power.
I'm pretty sure that's like the origin story of Venom, but I digress.
About the moon?
Yeah, that he was found on the moon or something.
What?
Yeah, Venom. On the Marvel comic.
What?
Did that freak you out?
No, I got a chill.
Chill? You know what that is?
What? It's Venom? Is it? Okay.
Also, someone, I don't know, some idiot I bet you I saw one time was like, oh, I bet you that's where the Grimm are from. They're from the moon. Like, and it, like, broke out like it was an egg. And, like, a big Grim Dragon came out. People are ridiculous, Cal, don't you think?
I had a theory, a crack theory. I didn't actually believe this, but if I would
say crack?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a crack theory, and it was a crack theory that there was a Grim in the moon. Not that the Grim came from the moon, that there was a Grim in the moon, and it was hatching.
How did
and it was hatching.
So the moon was an egg?
Yeah, the moon was an egg.
How did the moon get up there? Also,
what do you mean, how did it get up there? They're gods. They just put the moon up there, and they wanted it to slowly hatch and then devour humanity or something.
Oh, that was going to be like the end
That was like the idea. That was going to be the reckoning. Yeah, exactly. It just breaks open and there's a Grim in there. That was my, like, past idea. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be disappointed about this, though, just because, like, here's the thing, though, and I'd like to do a separate video just on this topic, but it's not Miles and Carrie's fault that people built up the expectation for the broken moon to have this whole, like, you know, fantastical story, and it has something to do about the silver eyes.
Cool
exactly, and so what I'm thinking is, like, this isn't necessarily Miles and Carrie's fault. It's not like they hyped up the moon. No. You know what I mean? Like, they hyped up, say, Adam with, like, his mask and whatever, so if that turns out to be a disappointment, like, cool. Y'all go, y'all be sad,
like,
whatever.
Eyes like Tintin, like Mario from just, like, little plots, like, I'm very mad. Like, no, you're not. You have little dot eyes.
You mean from My Hero Academia?
Yeah. Like,
but I'm saying, like, right? I get if people are disappointed in that, because that's something that Miles and Carrie have hyped up. Like, we don't see Adam without the mask, and, like, all of that sort of stuff. Like, he throws the mask away, right? So that's justified, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. What's not is, like, nobody hyped up the moon.
Nobody did.
Nobody hyped up the moon.
Something that was cool.
You know what I mean? And, like, nobody on the crew hyped up the moon. Everybody else hyped up the moon and built up this expectation of the moon, and then they were disappointed. That's y'all's fucking fault. Because, yeah, I had hopes and dreams for the moon, too, but I wasn't, like, emotionally invested to the point where I was like, I'm disappointed in these answers that we've gotten. Like, no, I'm not, like, I don't care. Like, it's just, that's how it broke. Like, what the fuck do you want? You know what I mean? Like, and I get it that people were like, oh, it's gonna have something to do with the silver eyes or the Grim. Like, people just got themselves too worked up. That's my opinion. And I think that's the right opinion to have. You know what I mean?
It's fine if you thought it was cool. I don't know, like, maybe they thought it would be a big... I still think that's kind of cool that it's a constant reminder.
Yeah, that humanity fucked up.
I think that's still really cool.
Here's my question, though.
Yes.
How did that start? Because we know that from the wipe that everybody disappeared.
Yeah.
So, did Salem start the rumors and like, did she sort of spread the old wives' tales about the old world, or was that Ozpin? Did he do it? Like, who exactly is spreading these rumors, right? Because for people to know the story of the girl in the tower,
maybe
either Ozpin or either Salem would have had to instill that in them because everybody else from the old times was dead.
Maybe some people knew.
What do you mean?
Maybe Salem told some people and kind of disseminated, but it kind of became
like
just a rumor.
Or a legend.
A legend, right? A rumor.
Because I'm thinking...
Salem, people don't know Salem exists.
Well, people know that there was this old sorceress and she was the only person with magic, right? And so I wonder if back then, before Salem, like, somewhere in between Ozpin, or the world ending, and Salem being this scary sorceress, I wonder if she tried to tell people of, like, the old ways, and people called her a witch and all that stuff, like, when people started coming back into the world, or when Ozpin and Salem were ruling, or whatever, they could have spread those fairy tales themselves. Like, they could have spread the idea that the moon is a representation of the folly of man, and they could have told them the story about the girl in the tower, right? Because Ozpin and Salem were known once. They were leading, right? And they were causing wars and stuff. So I feel like back then, right, maybe they started it. They started spreading that. And maybe Ozpin told people that because he's like, hey, listen, like, you know... Obviously, we don't see this in the flashback, but maybe it's like, hey, like, humans are fucked up, we're here to lead you, right, or whatever, and, like, see that moon, like, that moon being broken is us right now, and we gotta put it back together, because that's, like, representative of all of our faults, or something like that. I don't know. But I just find the moon symbolism has always really been interesting. I'm not disappointed in how it got broken. I think people are whiny babies.
Really cool.
And
I don't think it's been that big a deal. But
people make things big deals,
like,
I think.
Oh man, that's kind of disappointing. Or like, oh, that's interesting.
That's all I'm trying to say, is that I think that people made this as too big of a deal. That's all I'm trying to say. But anyway, I hope that you guys...
It's almost like... I don't know how to make it. You could say that like they were.
It's
the
folly.
It
was
the
the folly of
the
man.
fandom.
Like, oh god.
It was the folly.
I hate you,
of
Hunter.
fandom.
Anyway, I hope you guys liked our quick little video about the moon. I hope that you guys enjoyed. You guys should become patrons over on Patreon to see my reaction early, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you to our wonderful patrons over on Patreon for supporting the channel. Patrons get a bunch of different cool rewards ranging from access to VIP chats or getting video tickets, which can basically be used to request us to do videos, for example. We can advance early access or access to our Discord server. All of those are rewards that our patrons can get, and it's pretty cool. I do recommend it if you guys want to support the channel. We have so much fun talking on our Discord server about whatever it may be, whether that's RWBY or Kingdom Hearts or Miraculous Ladybug, right? And the early access helps you guys obviously get to see our videos before anybody else does, and so that's also pretty cool. The VIP chat is pretty exclusive. I can reply like a bit faster there. It's a bit more one-on-one. So if you guys are interested in any of those, I do suggest that you guys become patrons over on Patreon. The link is in the description, and thank you again for all of our patrons for helping us out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.